For us, it's in two parts. The first part is around the world is converging on digital platforms and digitalization of the world. So as Telkom, it's a very important place for us to meet with different suppliers, different vendors, potentially different partners that we can do things with and also that we can learn from. So from that perspective, it's been a very, very important event for us. If you look at things like cyber crime, cyber security, we are at the heart of connectivity in South Africa. So it's important for us to learn from others what it is that they're doing and partner with others. So from a company perspective, that's what's been happening.
And of course, as you engage with your counterparts from around the world, there's certain case studies I'm sure that pique your interest. Which markets have done exciting things that you think there are lessons that can be learned and applied within the South African context?
Well, a few markets actually. Malaysia has done very, very well in terms of getting connectivity and broadband to all. Australia has also been doing very, very well in terms of their national broadband plan. But the Indians also have very, very fascinating applications that we think can become part of the arsenal for us to be able to offer solutions to citizens and to government and to corporations. Connectivity in itself is great, but actually if there are no applications on top of it where people can use it in the right way. So for us, that has been very, very illuminating to have those sorts of conversations.
Are there any stumbling blocks in your way that perhaps hinder you from latching on to some of these examples that you've cited?
Well, I mean, clearly the first thing is just capability, just to have people that have been around the world, to open ourselves up and to be a lot more vulnerable than we may have been. The ecosystem is global, the ecosystem is very broad, so we can't live as an island. As Telkom, we need to be able to interact with the entire ecosystem. So from that perspective, I think we're beginning to open up those sorts of barriers that may have been there in the past.
There's been an interesting article, I think, just in the previous week in South African media saying that Telkom is the poster child for how to turn around a parastatal, which I'm sure is compliments to you. But let's talk about some of the milestones you still have to hit within your turnaround strategy. Bring us up to speed where you are and where you're still going.
Sure. Well, firstly, it's very flattering to be called a poster child. The Telkom turnaround, in our view, will take at least about 10 years. We are now probably at year 2 of the turnaround. There's quite a lot that we need to do. We need to get our productivity at the right place. We need to be able to get the offer composition in the right place, both for consumers and for businesses. We need to be able to get broadband to be a lot more pervasive than what it currently is. So all of that, actually, it's probably the next milestone. How do we get a lot more connectivity? How do we get a lot more people on the internet? How do we bring new applications that can actually solve practical problems? We've been dealing a lot with the cost issues. I think now we are a lot more disciplined in how we allocate resources in the company. We're very, very prudent about it. It's not our money, it's shareholders' money, so we need to be very careful around how we own it and how we use it, rather. So the journey, we are really at the beginning of it. There's still a lot more to do for Telkom in the coming years. So it's something that we are committed to.
And of course, one focus that you've highlighted recently is to aggressively go and service the small and medium-sized enterprises. Yeah. How does that fit into the broader strategy?
Well, the competitiveness of small enterprises and even large enterprises will be around their ability to connect to their customers, connect with their suppliers. So connectivity as a basic infrastructure provisioning will be the first thing. The second thing, obviously, will be how can they get the right applications that enable them to trade, to do business with their customers locally and internationally. That will make them competitive. So for us, actually, being able to get broadband into their businesses is the first key step in getting them to be competitive locally and also to be able to play externally to South Africa.